Hey, everybody!
Hey, guys!
How's it going, everybody? This is Biker Mike.
And this is me.
And that's Devin. We are talking about, well, this is another mini episode that we're going to be doing, and we're going to be talking about the slap that everyone else is talking about.
You know the one. Unless you're living under a rock or you don't have any form of television or social media.
In which case, there's no way you're listening to this.
Yeah.
If this is your social media, okay, something happened, somebody got slapped, and everyone has an opinion on it. And we're going to give ours. Because we are public figures now, we're very important, and people want to know our input.
Yes. Well, anyway, speaking of slaps, let's slap y'all in the face with our brand new music.
All right, so, again, badass tune. I love it.
It's dope.
Gold. All right, thank you, Kirk the Riffer at
Liquid State Audio, the guitarist, the producer, and the mixer of that hot, steaming slab of bluesy riffage.
So good.
So good.
All right, so, as everybody knows, the slap heard around the world. Will Smith smacked the shit out of
Chris Rock.
Now, are you a Chris Rock fan?
Not particularly.
I've never gone out of my way to listen to him. He's got some funny stuff out there. I really do. Like when he played in that remake of that movie where the guy dies and he comes back, but he's an old white man, except he's trying to be a comic and all that stuff. I don't remember what it was called. Anyways.
Best synopsis of a movie ever.
Yeah.
Because I totally understand what you're saying now and know what you're speaking about.
But you don't know the title.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
And he had some other good ones too. But at the same time, I've never gone out of my way to follow him like I do Chappelle, like I do Bill Burr, like I do Norm. Well, I didn't even keep up with Norm Macdonald. I didn't discover him until it was. He had some good stuff. I watched his movie as a kid, but I came in late. Yeah. Anyways, he made a joke.
He cracks a joke at Jada's expense about her bald head, and Smitty boy
laughed.
The Fresh Prince
looked at his old lady, saw that he wasn't supposed to be laughing,
and then went up and cold cocked dude on the stage, and then went back and dropped that infamous line twice.
Keep my wife's name out of your mouth.
No, out of your motherfucking mouth.
That's right. That's right.
You got some attitude on that.
All right. So, I was, okay, upon first seeing it, I was very conflicted. I'm like, okay, that can't be real. Like, there's no way that they didn't set this up somehow. And then he started talking, and I'm like, oh shit, that's real. But he's an actor, so I don't even know if that's real. But at the same time, it'd do nothing for his reputation to do it. So,
yeah, there's no real reason for him to go do that.
Other than, like you said earlier, talk shit, get hit.
Yeah.
And
so, a lot of people are seeing this whole thing and they're stepping on sides of, I stand with Chris Rock. Like, violence has no place in this world. Tasteless joke or not, you shouldn't be able to go up and slap somebody for the words they say.
Yeah.
And then other people are like, yeah, frickin' A, he dissed his old lady. He should have gone up there and smacked him in the face.
Yeah.
There's kind of this. The arguments essentially boil down to that.
Yeah.
And in one sense, yeah, I respect Smitty boy for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Anybody says something like that about a physical issue my wife would have that's beyond her control.
Yes.
Yeah, I would take umbrage to it. And, likely there would be...
You would react in kind, hopefully.
Yeah, in some way. Like
in some way.
There is a chivalry that we're missing in culture.
Yes. But, and I'm going to kick back on that whole him making fun of her appearance or whatever. She went out of her way to not wear a weave, and it is not abnormal for people to wear wigs and weaves and all this stuff, especially people with her condition. And I'm not trying to downplay it. It is a condition.
What is it? Alopecia?
Alopecia, yeah. I have a friend who suffers from it, and he doesn't grow a good beard, or he just losing parts of hair. And I feel bad for him. But at the same time, there's things he can do, like shave. If he really wanted to, if he was losing part of his head, he could shave his head. There are things you can do. Now, for a woman, it is not uncommon for women to wear weaves and wigs and to look good. Heck, most of the time, I can't tell. I really can't. And they're beautiful ladies, and great. Okay, that's fine. But she went out of her way. And so I think doing that...
We'll touch on that later.
I think you should be allowed to put yourself in the scenario where you can be criticized.
Yeah, we'll touch on that later, because right now I am, I guess, supposedly expressing my admiration or siding with Will Smith on this.
Yeah.
But I'm ultimately not. But it's not for the reason that you think.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly don't have much interest at all in commenting on the stupid shit that celebrities do. It's not a thing that interests me particularly. There is an aspect of this whole thing that I think is very existential and speaks to a broader societal symbolic problem that I find very, very interesting. And that's what I want to talk about. And in that way, I think that...
You're reaching towards the king of the jester, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
Go ahead.
Yeah, so in the king's court, there used to be a jester. I mean, the fact that, you know, in any court, the earl's court or whatever, there would be a court fool, court jester, somebody who was there to entertain, to lighten the mood, but also who had the ability to cut through the bullshit and mock the court without fear of execution or without fear of reprisal. Yeah. It's a societal function that court jesters played to keep everybody from being too far up their own asses.
Yes.
And, I mean, yeah, like officially court jesters were done away with a long time ago.
Which is too bad. In all honesty, couldn't you see one with Prime Minister Trudeau and him just being like,
"Oh, that would be so good."
Speaking moistly all the time.
We need to reinstate state jesters.
That's right.
There needs to be a position in Parliament or in the White House of somebody. Dude, you would make the best one. I'd be so happy for you.
As long as I couldn't get put in jail for inciting, I would be like, "No, don't do that." Oh.
Yeah. But in this modern age we have, even though we see it as an egalitarian society, there are classes or castes. It's not as official or big or as overt as, say, the caste system in India or anything like that.
Yeah.
But we, like it or not, we live in a world that has certain castes.
Definitely.
And I mean, there's political hierarchies. There's hierarchies in entertainment or in business, and there is a certain amount of gatekeeping that these levels have, and there's a certain inbredness to them that they have.
Yes.
And over time, they're getting more and more and more insulated. Now, the entertainment class, this Hollywood elite, right now, they are the demigods of our society. Not as if I look at them and think, "Oh wow," I mean, I
want to be like that guy.
Yeah, this is a role they play in culture because they tell our cultural stories. So they act in our things. They are the meeting point between humanity because they are physical meat bags that go and do the things and say the words.
Yeah.
But they're also representing an existential reality in the form of film or television or stuff.
Yeah,
So
and I think I personally believe that most celebrity actors get far too much credit in a lot of ways.
Likely.
The smartest things they've ever said, they were told to say.
but regardless of that,
Yes.
they are, in a sense, a demigod, because a demigod is a half human, half god. And that's kind of what they're like, right? They
Yep.
take the existential thing and they act it out and make it real. They're a touch point of our foundational cultural stories, or of the films or art and stuff like that influences broad pop culture as it stands.
Yep.
Not the best art, but the most broad and the most foundational for our society as a whole.
Yeah.
Hell, even being called stars
Yes.
is a religious term.
Oh yeah, and people just think I hate how they don't even think about it. It's like, oh, these are stars, and they're like, no, do you understand what they're saying when they say, call this person a star? They are above us all.
They are literally saying they are like unto angels.
Yes.
Or like unto the pantheon of gods.
Yes.
Like the ancient cosmological structure of things saw the stars as deities.
Yeah.
Or as celestial beings, not big gas balls, out
Floating
there,
in the sky.
floating out there in space, but they saw them as physical representation of actual gods.
Yeah.
Mars, Venus, demons, angels,
Uranus.
Ra. Yeah, you betcha. All bow down to Uranus.
They always do.
So, so even saying that is a symbolic tipping their hand to what they think they are and how we treat them. So, that being said, there's this pantheon of quote-unquote gods
Yeah.
who tell our stories, they influence culture, but they have these liturgies, these worship services, these award shows.
Yeah.
where
Ceremonies.
where they get together and blow a whole bunch of hot smoke up each other's asses.
And the host is the jester.
Exactly.
He is the thing that look at Ricky, my favorite host, bar none, Ricky Gervais. He's phenomenal.
Oh yeah, in
'Cause he
2020
will cut.
when he roasted them,
Yes.
hot fire.
Yeah, he's Spitfire, man.
Oh yeah, like he was coming at them
That's-
for like being friends with Epstein and
And that's the thing.
knowing about the casting couches and not saying anything.
And that's the thing. He likened these stars to pedophiles. To horrible. Like, that's the worst thing. Did
And you-
anybody go up and smack him?
Yeah, you could tell they didn't like it.
No.
but but they understood that he's there performing an important functional societal role
Yeah.
of humanizing, of keeping
The stars in check.
this self-established caste in check. That's what the court jester is there to do.
Yeah.
He's there to roast. He's there to call out the absurdities, to call out the absurd personalities and natures, and lean into them in a way to draw them back down to earth,
Yeah.
lest they get lest they jack themselves off hard enough that they actually,
It's a giant
launch
circle, not a literal circle jerk, but a figurative circle jerk going on constantly.
It's crude. It's crude, but the award shows are crude. Like
Yes.
that is garish. Like those things.
What's that water one that won a few years back? The Shape of Water or something like that? It's literally this woman having sex with a fish at some point. And I do not...
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there was this movie called The Shape of Water, and it was I didn't even watch it, because that's how you know people won, is no one's heard of their movies.
Oh, that's funny.
If you've hit all the social check marks, you can win. You really can. And getting back to what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
At this point, when Will went up and smacked him, he broke a cardinal rule of the jester.
It's an unspoken contract that guy is not to be touched. He's doing us a service
Yeah.
by roasting us.
Yes.
And you may think like, well, yeah, that would have been fine if he did that to Will, but he did it to his wife. No, he didn't. Jada is a full-on celebrity in her own right.
She's a public figure.
A public figure and a celebrity in her own right who also has her own weird self-righteous bullshit that she does.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that because we don't know. We don't know all the details, and I don't want to go on it.
But like you said earlier, she made a big deal about the whole bald head thing.
Oh, yeah.
She made a really, really big deal about being public about saying, I don't care what anybody says about my bald head. I love it.
Yeah.
And you know, doing that on multiple platforms. And here comes the court jester who looks there. He doesn't just see Will Smith's wife. He looks there and sees, okay, here's one of the people of the Pantheon.
Yeah.
Okay, you said you're okay with it. Fair game.
Yep.
Here's a shot. And not even that hard a shot.
No. G.I. Jane. Okay. I know it wasn't that great of a movie, but G.I. Jane was a great movie. Her being in the second one? Yeah.
I don't know. All I think is like,
it wouldn't even be that bad. I'm like, oh, that's not bad.
Demi Moore is gorgeous. I can't imagine anybody being too upset being compared to her, bald head or not.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Back to it.
Yeah, back to it. He went up there. It's like, all right, here's my chance.
And he even said it wasn't that bad. He's like, that wasn't that bad.
But yeah, you drop a line being like, okay, you've made a big deal about this. All right, I'm going to put it to the test. I'm doing my job. Here's a shot. And then is punished for it.
Yep.
And you could tell afterwards he was thinking, how do I process this? I think he did an okay job processing it.
As good as he could.
But you could tell there was a moment where he was like, oh, okay, that's how you want to play? And he was thinking of how to lean in on the thing as a comic and eviscerate them. And then he thought better of it. But, I think right now, given that this transgression about this unspoken but vital social contract has been violated between the jester and the court, the jester needs to go hard.
Yeah, comics, not Chris in particular.
Not necessarily Chris in particular at all, but comics. They need to lean into this. Bill Burr, the world needs you right now. Ricky Gervais. God. Now is the time you have been created for.
You were made for this.
You were made for this time. This is the time to not let them get away with this, to not let them establish a new authoritarian nature within their cast.
Yep.
And say that, okay, you know what? No, we're done with the jesters. Our feelings are too fragile for that. So we are not going to let you do this function anymore, and we are going to let ourselves ascend higher and higher and higher without the jester to cut us back down.
Yep.
We can't let that happen.
Because they just become unchecked. Just the danger of being unchecked, of having that. You know that if you get too high on your horse, I'm going to rip on you.
Yeah, exactly. Good brothers do that. We rag on each other, man.
Yep, 100%. And if
you know, I need to be brought down a peg or two sometimes.
and I am perfectly capable of bringing myself down, so you don't need to.
I do my part anyway.
Yeah, we all do our parts, but they broke the rule, and it's this, and he did it he responded as he should. He's like, okay, I need to step back. Did I go too far? He did. He had to think about it. Did I go? And looking back now, I'm like, no, he did not. There are other things going on, and we don't need to talk about the other things. I don't know what they are. I don't know the details. But what I do know is that as a society, we need to say, no, the jesters are important, the comics are important, because it sets a very unhealthy precedent when you start saying comics are not allowed to say this thing. Because now who gets to set the rules?
Yeah.
Do I get to set the rules? If I go to an Amy Schumer concert, which I never could find myself dead at.
If you go to a comedy show, can you just get up and go assault the comic because he saw you in the crowd? I was like, hey there,
hey there, fuckface.
Yeah, oh man, there. What's your name? Devin? Devin. Oh, nice to see you at the thing there. Yeah, having a good time. Yeah, whatever. What's that growing on your face? Is that pubic hair? Oh no, that's your beard. Oh, ooh, I'd cut that off. Yeah. Somebody, a guy could get offended and you can go up, be huffy about it and try and get into a fight. But no, that's not right. The social contract is We're going to see the jester,
Yep.
and he is going to send up culture, and he is likely going to send up a bunch of us, and we're participating in that. We
Yep.
need to get over ourselves and take it for the joke it is.
Take ourselves for the joke that we are.
Take
sometimes.
ourselves, yeah, exactly. Take ourselves for the joke we are, because we are fucking jokes.
Yes. If you don't believe that life is a joke, you're not paying attention.
So today is actually April Fool's Day.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't believe it.
So yeah, today is April Fool's Day.
And we're talking about
of
being the human walking jokes.
the human walking joke, to be the jesters. Today is a whole day that we all get to participate in the role of the jester. It's an amazing day, even though some people suck at it.
Oh, yeah.
But you see, some people are so clever about their April Fool thing. Some companies are so good about
That
roasting.
motorcycle I sent you, I realized it's April Fool's. We saw the electric
gosh.
glide. I couldn't believe it. I fell for it. I'm
Okay.
like, oh, they made a Harley Davidson. Because
Yeah,
I don't
so-
put it past them.
Grinch sent me a photo today of, it looked like a street glide. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, street glide. You interested? And then I looked at it like, no, that's not a street glide. There's
That's
that's
the
a live wire, and it had
with
it had a batwing fairing and the hard bags, and like it was set up, and I was like, that actually looks decent. Like, oh,
Yeah,
good for Harley. Like, that is innovative.
Yeah.
And then the penny drops a while later, and you're like, oh, it's April Fool's. Okay, like that. They freaking nailed it.
They did.
They totally.
I don't know who did it. I don't know if it was Harley, but whoever made that one, they got
whoever
me.
did it, they got it. They got the heart of it. They know, like, okay, we're making fun of Harley because they never innovate. We're making fun of people because they're always begging for Harley to innovate and then bitch when they do.
Yeah.
And we're getting at people who are just gullible about all news that comes out before
Yeah.
official announcements. It's great.
The thing is, I didn't put it past them. I'm like, okay, cool. They finally made an electric motorcycle that is going to be boring.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be boring.
Oh, it would be super fast, but I'm just...
No, not just fast. Fucking fast. Not just oh, this winds up and it gets really excited, but like terrifying, rip arms out of your socket, like perhaps wash your back out underneath you, instantaneous animal aggression and rage.
On a street glide.
Yeah.
Do you know what they were going to call it? Or what they said it was called?
No, what?
The electric glide.
Oh, that's clever.
That's clever. I read
It's
it
such
after.
a shame it's a joke.
I know. That could be badass.
With the whole Pan America that they did, they should have called it the Dirt Glide. Like, how did they not think of it?
Because you weren't there.
Pan America. That's a bullshit marketing ploy if ever. Everything they do is a glide.
Yeah.
They've got a wide glide. We've got a super glide. We've got a road glide. We've got a street glide, an electric glide, an ultra glide. The Dirt Glide. You missed it. Oh, come on.
Fix it.
Okay.
Fix it, Harley.
So April Fool's.
All
That's
right.
today.
Yeah.
We
got derailed.
I was reading the news and came across something that I was like, oh shit, this is in bad taste.
All right, now I gotta go.
So I was reading this article, and then it came up and said that a delegation of Canadian Indigenous people went to the Vatican to talk to the Pope about getting an apology for the residential school atrocities, and got it. And today, of all days, and I looked at it, I'd be like, oh, that's a joke in poor taste. I didn't realize, but it's fucking real.
It's the Babylon Bee effect. They will create these crazy headlines.
No, but
and then it's like, oh wait, they're true.
But this is a real thing. And good for them. Finally,
Good.
These guys, they went out, they worked hard, they got the invite there. They talked to the Pope and established some kind of symbolic reconciliation for what's been going on, which it's an important thing. But of today, of all days,
not
to
the day.
release it.
It's not the day. Always wait a day.
Wait a day. When it's April 1st, you wait a day. Because I looked at that, I was like, no, that's a joke.
That's not funny.
That's not funny.
Because those are horrible things that happen. You don't make a joke about... No, it's real, man.
Yeah.
I had a buddy like that.
I'm glad it's real. I'm happy it's real. I'm just like, why today?
I had a buddy like that. I had a buddy who was his dad was the the pitcher for the Montreal Expos way back in the day, and he was a Joker, and he had a son, Nolan Youngman, who played in Florida, he played in Nashville, he played in the NHL for a long time, except when that kid was born, he was born April 1st, and so the dad starts calling everybody because it's way before text and Facebook and all that stuff. And he's like, "Oh, I had a kid." And they're like, "Yeah, sure you did." They just nobody believed
Nobody
him.
believed him. No, it's real.
And it's this hate mail and the cancellation culture and all that stuff. And for all that, it's never tried to take out the comic. The stars have never tried to take out the comics. And now the stars are like, no, you went too far. And I don't know if you've seen some roasts that are out there. The roast of Steve, what's his name? Steve-O.
Okay, yeah.
Amy Schumer did too far. Like, she went, I'm like, oh, snap, I see where you're going, but that was too far. And I've seen other ones where I'm like, no, that one went a little far. But nobody smacks them. Yeah. They were like, okay.
But they're there, like, it's their craft, and the social contract is we're going there for this.
Yeah, and the goal is to push it as far as you can.
Yeah, exactly. You go there to push it as far as you can, is essentially to test your ability to balance real, honest-to-goodness humor with the risque, to see where the edge is. Yeah. It's like motorcycle racers, right? Like, they don't just go around a track on their test days and on their qualifying laps to try and get the best and safest. They don't go there to get the safest round. They go there hoping to almost crash.
Yeah.
Because the only way to really optimize the best out of the machine is to get to the bleeding edge between washing your bike out and having that last tenuous bit of grip. And that's where you're going to find the sweet spot, the line, and the sublime.
Yeah.
They're trying to find a sublime level of humor that does everybody a world of good. It calls out bullshit. It calls out our own absurdities, but does it in a way that invites everybody in for the laughter. But sometimes you have to be on the edge.
Yeah.
You can't play it safe all the time. There has to be risk involved. With being a holy fool. With essentially, it's like a prophet.
Yeah. Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Essentially,
there's a danger of being a prophet. Yeah. Well, there used to be, anyways. Now they get away with murder.
Yeah, to this cast of demigods, they have to have prophets.
Yeah.
Who go there and say, "Yeah, no, this is wrong." They send up the culture. And they bring reality and a sense of clarity there, so all of us can see, oh yeah, right, that's right. They're not beyond us, or they're not holy.
Yeah, and it's it's a very essential part of the culture, and
comedy is
a line
our
was
modern.
crossed.
It's our modern line of prophets. Are the comedians, the good ones.
Yeah, the good ones. The Bill Burr. I love Bill Burr. He goes far. Like, that guy is on the line. Dave Chappelle, he is just walking the knife's edge. He is dodging laser beams. Like, that guy is
100%.
a beast. And I such a huge fan. And yeah, it's unfortunate that line has been crossed. And I hope that as a culture, we say, Will, I understand where you came from.
On the street, I'd respect it, but in the pantheon, in your self-indulgent liturgy of bullshit, you needed to let it happen.
Yeah, and it sucks, and take it on the chin. But I feel I again, there are people that I know that disagree with me. You know people that disagree with you. We're not going to talk about who they are. We just know what they are, and we can disagree. But I think some of them
obviously we're correct, but we can agree to disagree.
We can agree to disagree. Where, what do? You have to have those social institutions, and most of the time it wasn't very nice. The best comics aren't always nice.
The best ones are eviscerating and brutal.
Yeah, they're. Now I want to go listen to some Bill Burr. And just, did you watch his Paper Tiger?
Frick, yeah, I did.
Oh, so good.
Yep. we can't. We have to hard out. We gotta end it
We
though.
have to
Our
let
timer
go.
went off. This is a mini.
All right. We would just like to thank everybody for listening. Thank you for taking the time. And as always, we end with a simple God bless.
And don't be a dick.